Hello and welcome to this video commentary of Assassin's Creed Unity. It's just a first impressions video really, just to get my thoughts out with regards to Assassin's Creed Unity. Just going to be talking about my thoughts on the game on the whole, the gameplay, the quite well documented bugs that it's had as well. Starting with that, I just want to get the first thing out of the way, the frame rate. I know a lot of people have been saying there's been issues with frame rate. Personally, I think it's been blown a bit out of proportion. Yes, there are issues with the frame rate. For me, it seems to be only in certain areas of the game, mainly bigger buildings that you can also enter. For example, the Notre Dame Cathedral is one of the first areas of the game that you'll get to go to, and there is noticeable drops in frame rate when you are climbing around the outside of the building. When I say noticeable, they are really bad drops, down to about 10 frames a second, 5-10 frames a second. Now, Ubisoft have said that they are going to be patching this in the next patch, so hopefully by the time you're watching this, that's already been done, and hope that that does get sorted. Other issues that people have raised, like the no face thing, I'm sure people have seen the picture of that on the internet. Haven't had any problems like that. Clipping on scenery, not a problem that I've experienced either, so I can only really talk about my own experience, and there are things that I haven't really seen. The other big problem, which I think is going to be something that's going to be very difficult to patch out, is the way people, various NPCs, interact with each other. Sometimes they get in each other's way. One thing that I've noticed is that when the tackle a thief mission comes along, where a thief is running through a crowd of people and you have to tackle him, the thief will run into a crowd of people and get stuck, and you can't tackle him. And so the only thing that you can do is you can run into the crowd of people to make them disperse, and so the thief can get on his way, and it kind of ruins the atmosphere of the game, which is great until that sort of thing happens.
So why should I kill you? It'll be slow anyway. You can't.
Now, after that terrible bit of fighting, let's talk a little bit about the combat in this game. Now, personally, I do feel that this has been a return to form for the Assassin's Creed series, putting more of an emphasis on stealth rather than combat. I felt that the most recent games in the series have been taking a step away from stealth. It's not to say that there have not been good games. Black Flag, particularly, was a very good game, very enjoyable, but for me, it just wasn't what Assassin's Creed was about. Assassin's Creed is about finding a target, having a target, someone to kill, someone to assassinate. Whereas Black Flag specifically, and Assassin's Creed 3 was more about the overall mission. It had become more of a cinematic experience than what Assassin's Creed should be, which should be have a target and assassinate them. More so, the combat has been totally recreated around using stealth and your hidden blades more than has done in previous games. In this game, you can only use your hidden blade for takedowns, like you're seeing here. You can't use it as a weapon in combat, or at least as far as I'm in the game, you can't use it as a standard weapon. Which puts more of an emphasis on staying out of the action and being an assassin, basically.
My lord! My lord! My lord! I've heard reliable reports that an assassin is nearby and that you are his intended target.
The worm has grown a spine. Now he's a snake.
Damn. It's only a matter of time I knew that much. This is far too soon.
Oh, wait, my lord. The assassins are, well connected.
But we have the advantage now, don't we? Muster the guard and lead the hunt for this assassin. Bring me his head.
Now obviously in Assassin's Creed you are going to get into a fight from time to time, and there has been a complete overhaul of the combat system in this game. Gone is the chain move that was brought in Brotherhood, where all you needed to do was get one perfect parry and a perfectly timed blow, and you could then chain kill everyone in the room, which has made the game very, very easy. The Assassin's Creed series, should I say, has become very easy as a result of that. That's gone, and the parrying system has become a lot more difficult to carry out. So combat is actually challenging now. I find myself being very challenged by just 2 or 3 enemies, which wasn't the case in previous games. In previous games, you'd find yourself surrounded by 6 or 7 people, and you would just parry one move, chain all the rest, and you'd kill them all. And the enemies, they never really attacked you. They waited and they held off, and then one would come in and attack, which wasn't realistic, obviously. In this game, although to a degree they still do that, they don't all rush you all at the same time, but they are a lot more hastily in their attacks. They don't give you time to breathe, and like I said, 2 or 3 people can very quickly overcome you. You can see on this gameplay footage that I've only really been seen by one person, and he's attacked me and took my health bar down to about a quarter, which should show that the game is actually a lot more difficult now as a result of these changes.
He's through there.
Another thing that I wanted to talk about was the new side missions and the way they are structured. Again, much like the combat system, they are a lot less hand-holdy. You do have to figure them out for yourself to a certain degree. The Nostradamus riddles, particularly, you get a riddle or a poem that you have to figure out what it's referring to in the world, in Paris, and then go there to solve the riddle to complete that side mission. Many times while doing that, I've had to go to Google or to various websites to find out what it's actually asking me to find. There's one riddle early on that talks about the structure of churches and cathedrals, and I had to use Google to find out what it was actually talking about, so I could figure out where on this cathedral the solution was. And to me, that's great. And much like the Nostradamus riddles, you also have the murder mysteries, which have been talked up quite a lot. So far, I haven't found them that difficult, but you do have to think to solve them. You do have to look for the clues. You have to solve the puzzles and read into what it is. Read what it is that it's actually telling you. And no other Assassin's Creed game has really ever done anything like that, and it is a welcome addition. So in summary, yeah, I do think Assassin's Creed Unity is a very, very good game, a welcome addition to the series. It is a step in the right direction, back to its roots really as well. If you've not enjoyed Assassin's Creed games in the past, then I doubt there's going to be anything new here for you to enjoy. It's not reinventing the wheel. It is more of a return to what Assassin's Creed was in the early games in the series. If you haven't picked it up already yet, but you are an Assassin's Creed fan, definitely pick this one up. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with the direction that they've gone with it. If you're an Assassin's Creed fan but have been a bit deterred in the recent games, then I would say still, yeah, pick this one up. Try and give it a go. They are starting to go back to grassroots with this one, and I'm sure you'll be pleasantly surprised with what you find.